Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be working on my 2014 Jeep SRT. Now while I've been driving the car I've noticed that there's a smell of coolant in the cabin. So what I'm going to do is hopefully pressure test the vehicle, find a leak and carry out the necessary repairs. And there she is, all in her glory. Now, straight away I can see that there's some signs of coolant leaking out round about the water pump here. So this water pump was replaced about 1 year ago, and hopefully it's not the water pump again, but these cars are notorious for going through water pumps. So let's get started. Let's pressure test the vehicle. Now if I look at the water reservoir, I don't know if you guys can pick that up, but it's just slightly underneath the maximum level. So the leak, whatever it is, obviously it's not a very bad leak. So let's have a look. I purchased this kit off eBay some time ago. It wasn't that expensive, and I've got a pressurization pump here, and I've also got all the different lids, the caps, the pressure caps that obviously would fit different vehicles, different manufacturers. So I'll figure out which one I need to use and then I'll come back to you. Right, on the pressure cap there, it says that the pressure is 18 psi. That's when the pressure relief valve inside the cap will open up and obviously get rid of the pressure. So what I need to do is I'll pressure test this maybe to around 15 psi, and then I'll take it from there, see how we go. This is a cap I'm going to use. Okay, that's us on. Now I just need to attach the pump, the pressurization pump. Now I'm going to attach the pump. That's just a push fit. Okay, now it's very important that you do this when the car's been switched off and the coolant temperature is cold. Otherwise you might obviously injure yourself or get burned. Okay, and we don't want that to happen. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pressurize this up to 15 psi, which is roughly around 1.1 bar or 110 kPa, and hopefully the pressure should stay the same, but it might drop slightly because obviously there is a slight leak somewhere. But I'm hoping that this will allow me to see exactly where the leak's coming from. I'll just pressurize it using the pump. So that's at roughly around 15 psi. And there you go. Look at that, absolutely pissing out. Right, I'll need to get a Jubilee clamp on that, because obviously that clamp, that OEM clamp, just has lost its spring, its tightness. Nice easy find. And what I'll do now is I'll release the pressure. Look. Oops. I didn't think that would happen. I'm removing the OEM clamp here and then finding a similar sized Jubilee clamp that will fit the hose. So there's a spigot here and here, so it's very important that the hose clamp here is inside these two spigots here. Okay, and then that way it's going to be tight and it's going to be harder to try and burst off back the way with the pressure. Okay, and that's us in there, and then I'll use this 5/16 1/4" drive, and then that way I won't over tighten it. And the final job will be to pressure test it again to make sure that it doesn't leak here. So the pressure is holding and there's no leaks within the system. Next step now is to add some coolant into the system and then start the car up and then bleed the system. So I've got some OEM genuine coolant here, which is a premix. So I'll add some of that in and then we'll take it from there. So I'm just checking to see if the hoses are getting warm, and once they open up, the thermostat here should open, and then that should let the water through into the radiator, and then that way all the airlocks will start to be released out of the system. And what we'll do now is we'll just monitor the temperature gauge here like so, and we'll make sure that this doesn't go all the way up into the hot zone, because that would indicate that there's an airlock in the system. So once the temperature gets up a little bit, I'll switch on the heaters to the highest heat setting, and then that should help draw off the heat and in case there's any excess air pockets. And then as the system circulates, the air pockets should go to the highest point and then go into the expansion tank. Another cool feature on this Jeep SRT is the performance pages. So I can go into the gauges here and have a look at the actual analog temperature in digital format. So I go here, so that's oil temperature, battery voltage, oil pressure, and then we go to gauges 2, and the coolant temperature at the moment is around 68 degrees. So once that thermostat opens and the hot water circulates around all the system, I'll make sure that there's no air pockets and the temperature doesn't shoot all the way up, which obviously would indicate an airlock. so I'll keep monitoring it. So with this system, the air's going to come out this little valve here and go into the feed and expansion tank. Right, I've turned the heaters on to high, the highest setting, and I'll just make sure I've got hot air coming out of the vents here, which I do have, so that's pretty good. That indicates that we don't have any airlocks, and I'll just monitor everything now and then take the car for a drive, and then I'll check the coolant level, and if it needs more I'll put some more in. And that's it guys, thanks very much for watching, take care.